Hey, fifth graders, today's Thursday, May 21st. This is our last math lesson in fifth grade. We are going to work today on converting fractions to percents. So the rule for today is the first thing we have to do is make equivalent fractions with 100 as the denominator. And we've been practicing all year on how to make equivalent fractions. So the first thing we're going to do is take our sample, in this case 8 over 20, and we're going to rewrite 8 over 20, and then we're going to rewrite 100 as the denominator. And remember, when we're making equivalent fractions, what we do to the bottom, we have to also do to the top. So in this case, what we're doing is we're looking at 20, and how did 20 become 100? Well, we had to multiply by 5. So 20 times 5 is 100, and again, what we do to the bottom, we do to the top, so we have to take 8 and multiply that by 5 to get 40. So we get 40 over 100. So that is our answer as a fraction. Now, once it's a fraction and the denominator is already 100, the numerator becomes the percent. So our final answer here would be that 8/20 is equivalent to 40%. So let's do some practice down here with our sample practice problems. Starting with 4/10, I'm going to rewrite, so I'm going to put 4/10. I'm going to rewrite it with 100 as the denominator, okay? Because that's our first step. So in order to make equivalent fractions, we have to figure out how did I get from 10 to 100. So how do we get from 10 to 100? We multiplied by 10. So we have to multiply by 10 up here. So 4 times 10 is 40. That gives us a fraction of 40 over 100. So 40 over 100 is the same thing as saying 40% because it's 40 hundredths. We know the highest percent you can get is 100. So once your denominator is 100, whatever number is your numerator automatically becomes your percent. So we're going to take a look at our second practice problem. 17 over 20. So we're going to do 17/20. And again, we're going to turn it so that 100 is the denominator. Okay? So how does 20 become 100? 20 becomes 100 again by multiplying by 5. So what we do to the bottom, we have to do to the top as well. So 20 times 5 equals 100. So now we do 17 times 5, and we can do that by using our calculator. I'm going to just switch it this way. That way it's a little bit easier to look at. So we're going to do 17 times 5, and that gives us 85. Okay? So that becomes our new numerator. And again, now our denominator is 100, so 85 just becomes our percent. So 17/20 is equivalent to 85%. Okay, now we're going to do our last sample problem together. So again, we're going to take our 5/25 and turn it into, rewrite it up and down. Slide that over just a little bit. Okay, and we're going to make 100 our denominator, because that's the first step, is to make equivalent fractions. Now, how does 25 turn into 100? Times 4. So we have to multiply by 4 up top. 5 times 4 is 20. Since 100 is already the denominator, the numerator automatically becomes our percent. So 5/25 is the same thing as 20%. Okay, so I want you to pause the video right now and try to do these 4 independent practice problems, doing exactly how we did our sample problems. Okay, so let's come back and go over your answers for the 3 independent practice problems. So we're going to take our original fraction, we're going to rewrite it, and we're going to make equivalent fractions with 100 as the denominator. Okay, so then to make equivalent fractions, how does 20 become 100? Well, it becomes 100 by multiplying by 5. So then what we do to the bottom, we have to do to the top. So 6 times 5 equals 30. And since 100 is already our denominator, 30 becomes our percent. So 6 over 20 is this equivalent to 30%. Okay, now we're going to go to our second one. 9/25. And we're going to make it an equivalent fraction with 100 as the denominator. So again, how does 25 become 100? Well, we have to multiply by 4. 25 times 4 equals 100. What we do to the bottom, we have to come up here and do to the top. So 9 times 4 equals 36. Again, 100 is already our denominator, so our numerator simply becomes our percent. So 9/25 is the same thing as 36%. Our last independent practice problem is 5/10. We're going to turn that into an equivalent fraction with 100 as the denominator. And how did 10 become 100? By multiplying it by 10. What we do to the bottom, we do to the top. 5 times 10 is 50. So 5/10 is equivalent to 50%. So when you're looking at tonight's homework, you're going to just follow these rules. So first we're going to turn them into equivalent fractions with 100 as our denominator. And then once you do what you do at the bottom, you do to the top. And now once you get your numerator, that is your percent. So that's what you're going to do tonight for homework. We're going to convert fractions to percent. So over off to the side, you're going to make sure you show your work. You're going to turn all of these fractions into equivalent fractions by making 100 the denominator, and then your numerator simply becomes your percent. So all of your answers here should have a percent sign as part of your final answer. So as you're working on homework tonight, make sure again that gets turned into math assignments in Canvas. And please make sure to use this video with your notes to help you, or to also watch the lesson practice video in Canvas.